I don't know about you guys, but I have watched countless videos on YouTube all about how to wake up earlier in the morning, and a lot of them say things like,
set your phone or alarm clock far away from your bed, get to sleep early, don't have caffeine in the afternoon.
And while I think these tips are all valid and that's why they're continually shared on the internet, I wanted to talk about the ones that I think really helped me actually start waking up earlier. I did not consider myself a morning person. I used to struggle to get out of bed at like 8 a.m., but now I have learned how to get out of bed at 5:30 a.m. consistently, and I want to talk a little bit about how I've managed to do that and share those tips with you guys. So the first thing to know is that I think it is just purely a mental game. You know, the whole setting your phone away or all these little tips that may help. The main thing is just figuring out how to trick or manipulate your brain to actually want to wake up at this time or just wake up at this time with more ease. So the first thing is you really want to figure out like what is your purpose for waking up at this time? What is your motivation? And I think you can use the motivation at the beginning to form this habit, and then once the habit is formed, you rely on discipline. So starting off with figuring out your motivation. Why do you want to wake up at this time? Do you want to change your life? Are you not happy with where you're at right now? Would you like to get more fitness in the morning? Would you like to progress your career more or get more things done in the morning, like side hustles before you even start your job? Maybe you're stressed and you need time to meditate. Just figure out what your why is and your motivation for it. And then also like where does that lead down the road? Like what is your big goal as well? And that's why I think one of my tips, which we can start off with, is when you set your alarm clock or like phone, I use my phone for my alarm clock, far away from your bed. I actually set mine here on this table because I sleep on that end, not to get into many details. I also have my vision board. You can't see it in frame. I have it right near my phone now. You can use a vision board, you can use a sticky note, something near your phone or your alarm at the beginning of the day so you can look at it and remember your motivation and your whole reason for waking up this early. Okay, so once you figure out your why, which is your main key point, there's some other steps that you can take to kind of mentally help yourself and physically help yourself wake up. So first, you need to realize that when you don't wake up at the time that you plan, that you're letting yourself down, and that if you do this every single day, you're basically telling yourself that you don't care about yourself, that you don't care about any promises you made to yourself, that you don't follow through with the things that you tell yourself you're going to do. And think about if you did that for a friend, you kept promising you were going to do something, but you didn't show up for them. They would lose faith in you. You will lose faith in yourself if you do not follow through with the things that you set for yourself. And I talked about this in previous videos, but I have to say one of the main great things about waking up early is that feeling of, okay, I actually pulled through and came through with the promise I made to myself. 75 hard challenge, day 2. I didn't want to go for a walk because it's wet outside today, but I went. I think that was a bit under 45 minutes, but I think that's going to be okay because the weather was insane. I'm just proud of myself for doing it. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're getting up in the morning. Tell yourself, hey, if I don't do this right now, I'm basically telling myself I don't care. And if I keep doing that, it's not going to lead to great things in life. Another tip I like is to just get excited. If any of you have a pet dog, I want you to think of your dog in the morning, super excited to go for a walk, get their body moving and everything, and think we need to be like that. We need to get excited to get our body moving, think about how great it is that we can actually get up in the morning and do our thing. I think you should be excited about the fact that say if you do exercise in the morning, that it's going to allow you to have a more flexible schedule in the evening. Think to yourself, hey, I'm so excited. I'm going to get my body moving, get all these things done. And then when I'm done the workday later on, I have all this freedom, flexibility to do other things. By consistently waking up and not being excited to move your body or get up, you're basically telling yourself, like your subconscious, that you would just rather be laying in bed doing nothing. And that's not a good thing to tell your brain either. Like you want to be excited to get up and do things. So even if you're not at first, fake it till you make it. Okay, so moving into some more tangible tasks that you can do as well. Setting intentions the night before, which a lot of other videos mention, but I think this is important because it's a bit like remembering your why. It's your why each day. So the small goals for that day. You want to know what you're actually doing in the morning so that if you're laying in bed and avoiding it, you know that you're avoiding those tasks. And another key tip that I have is also to do things in the morning that you do enjoy. So whether that's reading a book you really like, or maybe once you do get to work, it's something that is actually a semi-enjoyable task if you have that flexibility to do that first thing in the morning as well. Or maybe you start your workout with your favorite part, or have your favorite kind of coffee. Have something that is going to excite you and make this process a little bit easier. That's another tip that I have as well. Okay, so this is a tangible action, something that you can do, which I just talked about earlier on, which is to have a sticky note that has your why or your main goal. Or like I said, have the vision board near your phone or alarm clock so that you see it first thing when you go over to switch your alarm off. And I think that's a really great thing to just look at it and be like, okay, I'm remembering why I need to get up right now, even if I don't want to. I read this little tip on, I think, Reddit once, which is You just say to yourself 3, 2, 1 and jump out of bed. And I never thought to try it until recently when I was trying all these different ways to help myself wake up earlier, and I actually really find it helps. So that's something that I suggest as well. Just count it down, just say 3, 2, 1 up. Let's go. That's a good way to just like initially get yourself out of bed, which is the hardest part. And then from there you can set little goals. Okay, 3, 2, 1 out of bed. Next step, go over and turn the alarm clock off. Next step, I don't know, put your workout clothes on. Next step, go for a walk or do your workout. Next step, coffee. And then like, by the end of it, you should feel more awake as you start getting onto like bigger items or to-do lists in the morning where it's like maybe reading or starting on a new project or something like that. Another tip is to get moving right away. One tip I liked from, I've mentioned this book quite a bit, the 5 a.m. Club book. They did mention like maybe if it's really hard for you, just sleep in your workout clothes for the first while, just to like remove as many barriers as possible to get up and get moving. I personally don't do this, but I do like to put my workout clothes. This is kind of like my getting ready station for like, let's get yourself ready to wake up in the morning. I like to put my workout clothes here. As I mentioned, you can't see it, but my vision board's here. I'll put my alarm and my phone here so that these are the first things you see in the morning, and you're trying to make it as easy as possible to get up early and create as little obstacles as possible for you getting up early and getting moving and doing the things that you want to do. So a lot of this boils down to like when and what you do in the morning. And another thing that's really important is to get sunlight into your eyeballs as soon as you can in the morning. And I know as a Canadian who has long winters where if you're getting up at 5:30 a.m. it is going to be dark. That this is not super possible, but at least in the summer, maybe when you first start building this habit, take advantage of the sunlight. And that's why I think it's really important. One of the first things I do when I wake up, I do like to do an exercise first, kind of get ready with my day, and then I do like to get outside. But one thing you can even do if you're not going for a walk immediately in the morning, I like to stand out on my deck and have my coffee and just get some sunlight, and it really does help wake you up. I think what I'm going to do when the winter arrives is probably invest in one of those alarm clocks that has like the sunrise setting that kind of helps with setting the lights and naturally helping you wake up a little bit more, because I do know living in Canada that our winters are dark and it's really hard to get up early when there's just no sun out. So I have to say, I think the whole waking up, getting sunlight in your eyes, getting yourself moving, that's about 80% of the struggle. I don't want to talk too much about I guess I already have actually talked a lot about the night before to set yourself up. I didn't think I was going to talk that much about it. I thought I was going to talk more about the tangible things in the morning. But anyways, yeah, I guess so 80% is what you do in the morning, 20% is like the night before. I also think it's really important the night before, if you can, maybe squeeze a quick walk in when the sun is going down, and then avoiding your phone or screens or keeping it to a minimum, keeping everything dark before you go to bed. And I do find that helps me with sleep as well. And another thing that I forgot to mention is also the not eating 3 to 4 hours before bedtime as well. I also find intermittent fasting kind of helps with this too. So I don't like to eat first thing in the morning. I do like to have a coffee, but I think when you eat really helps when you wake up as well. Okay, so if you've done all these things in the morning, like you've gone on your walk, you did your workout, you've had coffee, you're up and moving and you still feel the urge to go to bed, have a cold shower. I do this on the days where I'm still feeling just like not awake at all. This is kind of like the last resort for me. I don't like having cold showers. I know people say it's good for you, but I will do this on the days where I can feel myself gravitating towards my bed and wanting to go back, especially for someone who works from home. Don't let yourself go back and have a few extra minutes before work. You'll just feel worse. So drag yourself to the shower, have a very cold shower, and I think it will like shock yourself awake a little bit more. Don't do this most days, but I will say that is like a last resort. And then one thing that I want to mention that I've really enjoyed in the mornings, which kind of helps motivate me to wake up too, is to have moments of silence. So when I go for a walk, I don't listen to music. I just, walk in silence, really enjoy just being alone with my thoughts, and it feels very refreshing to have moments to just like think about things before you start your day. I find when you just wake up right before work, maybe you throw a podcast on as you're getting ready, everything's go, 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 and then you get into work and you haven't had that moment to just sit and reflect. You just kind of chaotically get into the routine of work. I think it's really good to have moments to just sit, breathe, take a moment before you start your work day, and I think that's something that I really treasure now as well. So overall, implement routine into your life. I think that's key. Start with one key habit and then start building them more and more into your routine. I kind of started with a bunch of habits at once, but I think that's just my nature, where I think if you're struggling with this, maybe just start with one thing at a time. There's no rush, I did talk about previously, I've tried the thing where you move your alarm clock slowly back over time. Recently, I just kind of was like, we're just doing this. I think when I found my motivation, it made it a little bit easier. Another key thing is you just want to make the bad things hard and the good things easy. So, good thing for you is to get up and get moving and do some fitness. Put your fitness clothes out. have maybe, I don't know, your playlist ready, your shoes out. Make very little obstacles for doing something that's good for you. Whereas if it's a bad thing, I don't know, say, I remember an example I read online. I'm personally not someone who's like a gamer or anything, at least not currently in my life. But say you struggle with that and that's something that maybe keeps you up late at night and is impacting this whole process. Maybe put your video game controller in one corner of the house in a drawer, and then your TV remote on the other side, and just make it really difficult for when you actually want to do that. Same with like, say you're finding that you're a bit addicted to watching YouTube videos late at night, maybe uninstall the app for a bit, so then you know you have to go through the process of reinstalling it and everything before you watch them. Just making things that you know aren't good for you a little bit harder. So an example of building a routine too is, say you wake up, have your coffee, do a little workout, do some reflection, do some reading, go for a walk. Maybe you're finding this hard to do this all at once. Maybe just start off with like waking up a little bit earlier, having your coffee, doing a workout. Then, in a few weeks' time, you implement the whole reflecting and everything after that. A few weeks' time after that, maybe you add a run or going for a walk. Just slowly build those habits in. I think that's a really good tip for anyone who's finding it hard just to do everything all at once. But I do say there's two types of people. I think there's the type of people who just throw it all in at once. I think that's me. I need to just do it immediately, or there's people who need to just gradually build it in. So just kind of figure out what works for you. And yeah, I think that's all I have for my tips today on how I'm making myself wake up earlier at 5:30 a.m. I did want to update you guys on this. I talked about it in my last video where I have that free Notion template where I talk about reaching your goals in 6 months and how to get there. And I wanted to continually update you guys on how it's been. I've been staying on track with my 75 hard challenge. That's been a little tricky too, because that's a bunch of new habits. If anyone's curious about the 75 hard challenge, I will put a timestamp and link my other video here for you to go check that out as well. But I think that is it for today, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if there's any really cool tips that you find help you wake up early in the morning, or if there's any that you heard about in this video that you haven't tried yet, and let me know how that goes. And with that, I hope everyone has a great week ahead of them and that it's easy to implement waking up earlier or some of these habits in this video. And I will talk to you guys all in the next video very, very soon. Bye guys.